at you. Don't you look ravishing?
Thanks. I'm going out with Tony tonight.
The Nanny and Miss Fran Fine, aka Fran Drescher, was iconic. The Nanny was a 90s sitcom that premiered November 3rd, 1993. I wasn't even alive yet. But I remember in middle school and high school is when I started watching the show. It would either come on like early in the morning as I was getting ready for school, or you was up way too late if it was like 1, 2 in the morning or 12 o'clock at night, right? When it was come on at either Nickelodeon reruns. And I would watch it because it was just so funny. And I love just watching Miss Fran Fine. The show stars Fran Fine, aka, actually, the show stars Fran Drescher, who plays Fran Fine on the show. And then you have, I believe his name is pronounced Charles Shaughnessy, and he plays Maxwell Sheffield, aka Mr. Sheffield. Okay, I can't do her voice. It was just her voice is just too iconic, right? Miss Fran Fine is a Jewish New York girl. Okay, she's given New York girl through and through with the looks, she had big, voluminous dark hair. Back in those days in the 90s, early 90s, it was all blonde haired and blue eyed, skinny, mini, tall women. That was pretty much like, the white, not even just the white beauty standard, but specifically for white people, but just overall, that's the beauty standard. But specifically for white people, let's be honest, back in those days, you had to have the blonde hair and the blue eyes, right? Now, Miss Fran didn't have none of that, and also she's like short. She's about 5'2". She has this high pitched, nasally, squeaky kind of voice that it can be a bit annoying, but it just fits her personality. She plays a Jewish girl. She's just a Jewish woman from Flushing, Queens, and she has that New York style. Not only just the personality, the styles, again, like the way she does her hair, her makeup, the way she wears clothes, what she wears, the shoes she wears, the accessories, the jewelry, the purses, whatever, what have you. But also just her accent. Like, you can tell like she's a New Yorker, but like, even like that Queens accent, because like a lot of people say that like it depends on each borough. Every borough that you go to in New York City, it's kind of like they have their own distinct accent. If that makes sense. Did you know? Fun fact: Miss Fran Drescher, aka Fran Fine on the show, she was 36 years old when she first started this show. Back in 1993, when it first premiered, she was 36 years old. Like, when I found that out, it literally took me out. Like, she was so gorgeous and beautiful, and her attitude and that spunk, that flavor that she just brings into the show, and her natural comedic timing. It's like she just, maybe because I started watching the show again, like when I was in middle school, she just appeared way more youthful to me than 36. I thought she was around 24, 25, maybe 26 at the latest at the beginning of season 1. I'm gonna have to watch it, some reruns. Let me see the first season now as an adult. Either way it goes, it don't even matter if she looked her age or not. I just blew my mind finding out that she was damn near 40 years old when the beginning of the series started, and like she was just serving the girls and the boys and the gays, and it was just, again, like she's a beautiful woman, period. So the TV show had 6 seasons and 146 episodes. It kicks off as, Miss Fran Fine, she's trying to sell cosmetics, right? After she got fired. I believe she worked at like a bridal shop, and she got fired. So she's going door to door out in New York City, and she's trying to sell cosmetics, makeup and stuff. And she comes across Mr. Maxwell Sheffield's crib. And he's a single father of 3. Now, I ain't gonna lie, okay? Maybe I should need to do my research before I get on these videos. I don't remember how the children, I don't know if he's divorced or he lost his ex-wife or wife, whatever, the mother of his children, in like an accident or something. I'm gonna have to look it up because now I want to know. But he's a single father of 3 children. Miss Fine happens to run across his home in New York City to sell cosmetics, and he decides to hire her as a nanny for his 3 children instead. They take a liking to each other. The children take a liking to her. She takes a liking to the children, and the rest is history. You can tell that throughout the series, not only the children, of course, they liked her as a nanny. She was so, her personality, her style, and all the traits, her humor, like she would always get herself in trouble because of like kind of it's just her personality. Like, like she's like not naive, but just kind of a little bit mischievous, but she always would get herself out of trouble through her, her New York girl street smarts. But you can tell, like in the beginning, the very first season of the series, it's a little bit of romantic and sexual tension between her, Miss Fran Fine, and Mr. Maxwell Sheffield, okay? And of course, there's other background characters in the show. You got Cece, which is his business partner, who also has her eye on Mr. Sheffield, okay? And then you got Niles, the butler. You got Fran's her very overbearing but funny, hilarious Jewish mother. It's like, there's other characters in the background. Of course, you got the children, some other characters here. That's like the main meat and potatoes in the pot, so to speak. Again, she was serving body and looks all throughout this show. It was so many, like, when I think about it now, I really need to like just go through like a photo lookbook of her. I got Rihanna's photo lookbook right underneath my coffee table right here in the living room. I know somebody has to have it. If not, they need to get one. They need to make it. I'm gonna go on Amazon and see if they have like a lookbook of all Miss Fran Fine's like looks. Cause like that black dress, it was so iconic. I'm either put it up here, or I'm gonna just leave it up for the rest of the video, because she looks so gorgeous. Again, look at the body, and again, y'all keep in mind. Okay, let's be honest. Like even nowadays, like men and women, okay, both of us. By the time we hit 30, 35, it's like a lot of us, we know we're starting to drop off. But at 36, she started the show, and she was just gorgeous woman. And she wasn't the standard, the beauty standard, the blue eyes, blonde haired, tall, 5'8" and up. No, like she wasn't giving none of that. She had a kind of annoying, nasally, very distinctive Flushing Queens, New York City girl, voice and attitude. And like, she just, to me, like when I started watching the show, I was like, I can't believe this woman is this gorgeous. I want to be somebody just like that when I grow up, pretty much. I was like, I aspire to be Miss Fran Fine. She always had great style, eye-catching outfits. Like in the beginning of the show, the intro song, she's the lady in red while everybody else is wearing tan. Like she just like all her, again, like that's just her natural style and personality. She just naturally stands out. Like her clothes is very New York fashion forward. Back in the day, let's keep it real. I don't want the New Yorkers to come for me, but not as much nowadays. But back then, if you were in New York, they always talked about how, like, again, fashion, like New York City, even to this day, is still the fashion capital of this world. Let's not get it twisted. Okay, but back then in the 90s, like before we had Amazon, like online shit, just to get like real shit, real Gucci products, leather, and Velcro, whatever the fuck you wanted. New Yorkers had that on lock. It was either you was in New York, LA, Chicago, but again, New York was like the fashion, and it still is, of course. But back then, there was no, okay, my little hometown doesn't have, a Gucci store, so let me just go on Amazon and or just go to Gucci website and order me something. No, you had to either be living in a major city like New York City, or take trips just to get like good shit or like just unique items. And it's crazy. I believe a couple years ago, Cardi B was actually, I think she dressed up as Fran Fine from the Nanny, one of these Halloweens, or either she dressed up as her for Halloween, or like she just. It was like she kind of was channeling a lot of her looks. Because again, like her looks, like she gave us just so many looks, and it was iconic, and it was so fashion forward, and it was so unique in her, and it was just so New York, and it was so 90s. Again, I think at the end of the show, of course, so it was kind of cliche and let's be real unrealistic, but it was cute, At the end of the season or the show, Niles and the butler, Niles the butler and Cece, Mr. Sheffield's business partner, even though they hated each other, they had beef and they were throwing shade and shots. They began to have some tension and romantic feelings towards each other. They end up getting married and having twins. And then Mr. Sheffield and Miss Fran Fine, Miss Fine if you're nasty, they ended up getting married and having twins as well. Like, aww. Again, it was a very funny, classic time of show. The Nanny is iconic, and of course, Miss Fran Fine is iconic. She was a beautiful woman then, and she's still a beautiful woman now. Miss Fran Fine was, still, and forever will be that girl.